Hey y'all, it's me, Nafataria with CPDollars.com, and I am with Shoot Media Group. And right now I am sitting with CZAR. CZAR, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How you feel?
I'm alright, can't complain. I'm inspired by all the creatives. I don't know how to draw or anything, but I feel like now I need to go home and give it a whirl. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and a little bit about your business, including your business name?
Okay. So I have several business names. I guess a little bit about myself.
Okay.
I'm from Chicago. Obviously, I went down to school at Florida A&M.
Okay.
And when I graduated from FAMU and everything, I actually ended up staying down there to start my business.
Okay.
Which gave birth to AJ and AJ Management. The AJ and AJ stands for my niece and nephew's first initial of their name.
Okay.
Which my mother was the one who came up with that.
Okay.
And to kind of stole it from her.
Okay.
But she also gave it to me, and I really love that name because that's one of the goals that we wanted as a family, to be able to help start a business that we can begin to be able to create passive income and not always feel the need to work underneath somebody else or to work for other people, but we can go and pursue our own endeavors and our own dreams, because that was something she always wanted to do.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons why I definitely wanted to use AJ and AJ. So that came up with AJ and AJ Management. Pretty much when I started it in 2012 down in FAMU, it was pretty much to manage artists.
Okay.
And then I slowly started to learn that to manage artists, to really do a great job at it, you need connections.
Mm-hmm.
And you need the right connections. So it's one thing to have the knowledge to know how to type up a PR. It's one thing to know how to be able to reach out in emails and do all that, but if you don't have real connections, you can't really push an artist as far as they can go.
Okay.
So I started to really think about what can I do to actually help artists grow and to help push them, because the other reason I wanted to work with artists is because they look like us. Maybe the majority of the artists look like us, and they were taken advantage of by the industries as a whole, doing 360 deals, all types of stuff.
Okay.
So it's just like, I want to be a change to that, to where I can help free artists up from feeling like they need to do a 360 deal, that they can just be themselves, make their own money, build their own team, and things like that.
Okay.
So when I had that realization of why I wanted to do that, that's when I started hosting artist showcases down in Florida. And I was also inspired by somebody else. His name was Chatham. He did something similar before he had left to Atlanta. So I kind of took the same foundation and I just built on it to where I made it a platform to where I was going to teach artists how to market and brand themselves, how to create their own revenue, and how to turn their existing fan base into paying people, and then how to pretty much expound on that. So as I was doing the marketing and branding for those types of artists, hosting the showcases, I got to a point where I started having interest in wanting to work with businesses and helping businesses along the same lines.
Okay.
And all this was self-taught. I went to FAMU and graduated with a degree in philosophy and religion and a minor in social work.
Okay. I was gonna ask you if that's what your background in marketing. Okay.
Nope. I don't even use that degree. Besides, I incorporate a lot of philosophy in a lot of my photography, video, and marketing work and stuff, but I don't use that degree. It's the most expensive piece of paper I ever bought.
Understood. So you started off in artist marketing and branding, and you made your way into doing it for businesses as well.
Yeah.
So all my business owners that need help with their marketing, branding, CZAR is here. So what else do you do now? Like, what brought you into the Shoot Media Group?
So what brought me to Shoot Media Group, because I also specialize in photography and videography.
Okay.
And that evolved because I realized that a lot of businesses, they don't necessarily want to pay for marketing and branding. And then they don't also want to put the budget or understand that they need to create a budget for marketing and branding. My price is my price, but you need a budget to run ads. You need a budget to pay models. You need a budget to do certain things. So realizing that I want to help smaller businesses and they don't necessarily have the budget, I started to incorporate photography, videography, website development.
Okay.
Pretty much a one-stop shop for businesses and learning those skills. And photography was also my therapeutic outlet as well.
Okay.
So that's kind of how they evolved together. And that gave birth, and when I moved back to Chicago in 2019, it gave birth to my second business, which is my DTF, which stands for My Dark Twisted Fetish, which handles my adult erotic side of photography, videography, and marketing and branding for those types of businesses and individuals.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I was introduced to this space, because they, Khalil hosts his paints and sips and things like that, and he needed models. And since I'm one of those individuals that I like to place myself in my client's shoes, I figured let me also model and do new modeling, because I have all these people do new modeling for me, whether they're wearing lingerie, whatever. Let me experience what they experience so I can also grow and help them better when I'm on the other side of the camera.
Okay. So you're on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is fairly new to me as well.
Okay. So you tapping into something different on your creative side as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else do you do with your? So are you still working with the small businesses, or?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said so now with the small businesses you offer the videography, the photography, website
Development,
okay.
Pretty much the whole shebang. I hate graphic design with a passion,
Okay.
but I can do it. If it needs to be done, if it needs to be executed, I can get it done. And if I can't get it done, I know how to find the right people to get it done.
Okay.
And I have enough knowledge in that field that I'm able to actually guide them. So I like to tell a lot of people jokingly, like, graphic designers love me because I know how to package everything up for them and turn it over to them to make their job easier.
Okay.
You know, I know what I want, whereas sometimes other clients still be like, I don't know what I want. Just create this.
That's me. I don't be knowing. Just, I don't know. Whatever you come up with, if I like it, I'll say I like it. But you gotta be decisive about those things.
And what I would do, my job would be to actually extract your full vision, and then I'll turn that over to the graphic designers.
Okay.
So it's kind of like I work with the business owners and stuff. That's why I even tell a lot of people it's not like I work for them or I work for you. We work together, because your vision I want to bring to life. I want to make sure whatever ideas, whatever you conceptualize, that we make it a reality, and we also optimize it to its fullest potential. So if you're making $10 off of it, but it can make 100, I'm that person that's gonna come in and say we can make 200 off of this.
Okay.
And we gonna make 300 off of it. And I know that number went up because I'm also passionate about it, and I feel like every client I work with is also passionate about what they do. So that only just magnifies everything. So I push people so they can also push me as well, and we can continue to grow.
Okay, so I love a good marketing and branding. Can you give some of the small business owners one tip regarding their marketing and branding? Like, what's a tip that you feel like, I guess maybe a lot of business owners don't know?
Create a budget. Actually sit down and don't be afraid to invest money. So notice I'm using specific words too. Invest money in your business by investing in your marketing. Like, create a budget for your ads. Figure out how much you want to spend a month, even if it's $25. Take that $25 and be like, all right, I want $5 to be spent this way. I want the other $5 to be spent this way. Even if it's small, begin creating that budget and begin actually going ahead and paying for those certain things, because it takes money to make money.
Yes.
I've run into so many great businesses who don't invest in their marketing and branding, and they're wondering why they're still working out of their basement. And then they're looking at the next business that's booming, and although you're not supposed to compare yourself, but if you want to look at the next business, study what they're doing. That next business invests in their ad placements on Instagram.
Okay.
The next business also takes serious their content creation, so they have no issue hiring photographers or videographers, investing in graphic designers. They also don't try to continue to wear all the hats. At some point in time, you have to take off the hat for what you're doing and let somebody else help push you, because that's the only way you can really scale and grow. And then two, really ask yourself what it is you want to do and why you want to do it. You cannot market or brand something that you yourself do not know why or what you want to do with it. So actually sit down and kind of just brain dump everything and begin organizing it. So that way, when you do decide to invest in your marketing and branding, you do sit down with a professional, you have so much material to give them that they're able to extract what it is you're looking for and you're looking to do. Because any good person would noticeably just say to themselves, like, yeah, I understand that you as the starting, you're going to have a bunch of ideas.
Yeah.
So we know it's our job to extract them and make it all cohesive. So just come with everything already on paper. Every time you have a little idea, write it down.
And that's something that I actually have mentioned before on my podcast and in some of my other interviews. Like, I brain dump all the time because there's 1,001 things going on. So I will sit there and just get it all out. And even if I come back a day or two later, just to organize it, clean it up a little bit, do further research on it. I ask myself questions in my documents to remember those questions, and those are things that I'm supposed to look into. So I am a firm believer in brain dumps and putting it all out there, so it's not just in your head and you're not losing those ideas that you had or those questions or those different steps that you had. So I'm glad to hear you say that as well, and actually use that term, because my husband thinks it's funny because I feel like I'm having a brain dump. Just let me get this out and I'll be with you in a moment, but let me just get this out. So thank you for using that term as well. Now, you gave us some things that businesses should do. So what are some obstacles that you've seen, some businesses run into without having that proper plan that you spoke of?
They pretty much, so when a business don't know exactly what they want to do, some of the issues I ran into is they sit down with me and we end up spending 3 months on actually developing their vision.
Okay.
And for me, that's a good thing. That means I'm making money. But my integrity rocks, so it's also me communicating to them like, this was money also wasted, because if you had it fully, if you knew what you wanted and how you wanted to go about things, we wouldn't wasted 3 months
trying to figure it out.
We would have actually, the conversation would have been more or less about, okay, how can we place these products and services in front of people?
Right.
Not what exactly is your products and services.
Okay.
What exactly do you want to do with these products? Who do you want to even sell to?
Who's your audience?
What, where, like, what it is. It's just not, I just want to sell perfume. Okay.
We have to think through that a little bit more.
Yeah,
okay.
Who do you want to sell perfume to? Why do you want to sell perfume to? Do they even want perfume? Did you even look into the research around them? So, and that's the other thing that I noticed. A lot of businesses, when they don't do the research on their audience, what they find themselves doing is, I want to work with everyone. I want to do, all money ain't good money and every client ain't your client.
Very true.
I have turned business away because we just not a good fit for each other. I will refer you to somebody that would be a better fit, taking on opportunities that are way above my head. No. I know my limits and I respect them. It's because that's also how I get people to come back.
Yep.
So when a business don't really understand their limits or understand their clientele, they find themselves working with someone that's now upsetting them. Well, that's because you shouldn't have been doing business with them in the first place.
Yeah.
And if you knew who you wanted to work with and what you wanted to do, you wouldn't have been in that room. So like for me personally, like I said, I like to work with the people. I make that known in a lot of my consultations up front, and I gauge how a person responds to it. I work with businesses where they want me to work underneath them. So they bark an order at me and they want me to do it. I'm sorry, we can't work together because we're going to bump heads. That doesn't mean you're not a good business owner. It just means we're not a good fit for each other. And that way, I don't do bad business for you, and then you don't go around saying that, CZAR, this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
But when I let you know up front, like, I don't think we're a good fit, whoop-de-whoop, this, that, and the third, you still may carry my name on to somebody else that you feel may work with me.
Yeah.
You still have a good taste in your mouth about me.
Okay. Well, is there anything that you would like to promote? Your branding, marketing?
Definitely follow me on social media. CHI_King, KING_code, COLD. I'm going to start back hosting my community headshots.
Okay.
And my community headshots are targeted for LGBTQT plus and people of color.
Okay.
To kind of help, because for people that look like us and individuals that identify with LGBTQT plus, oftentimes we're undergoing identity type issues.
Okay.
Whether the media is always portraying black people as thugs, hoodlums, or whatever the case may be, individuals transitioning from one sex to another, and individuals discovering who they are. Pictures has always been a way to help people fall in love with who they are and how they want to present themselves to the world. And kind of like one of my other studio mates was saying earlier, how it's expensive for photography. I'm expensive at the end of the day. So I want to still be able to give back to people who are going through different things and who also view photography as a therapeutic outlet, or view modeling as an outlet. So with these community headshots, it's like, come out, get you one good picture. They are usually always themed. So the one I had in the past, the last one I had was actually themed for sex workers.
Okay.
And it was at Pilsen Arts and Community on 18th Street, where they actually had artwork in a gallery that was curated by sex workers.
Okay.
And the reason I chose them is because the world looks down on them, thinking that they don't deserve human rights, or they're not real individuals. Like, no, they're just as much real, and they have the same issues and same problems as people who work regular jobs. You know, we can glorify rappers and put them on pedestals, but you want to look down on sex workers. And it's like, some of these rappers don't live such kosher good life. To keep it 100. So it's just like, no, let's still treat them as human beings, that they still deserve love, they still deserve respect and everything. So understanding that they have those types of issues is like, come and get your picture taken. You can now utilize this for your portfolios, for your whatever the case may be. The first one was primarily targeted towards individuals that was transitioning.
Okay.
Because they have to deal with, you know, going from one sex to another, and the world constantly telling them this is who you are.
Yes.
So come get a picture and show the world who you are. Come represent who you are.
How you want to be seen.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. So if you guys keep up with CZAR, look for those community shoots. Make sure you create a budget for your marketing and branding, and you can also follow him if you want to get in touch with him for those type of things as well. And CZAR, it was great working with you. Well, sitting and talking to you. Oh, and I cannot forget, tell them how we met.
So funny story, actually. So we actually went to high school together.
Right.
But we technically just re-met today.
Re-met today, yes. And one of, what, you've been here with?
I've been here about 3 weeks now, so I'm actually fresh blood.
Right. You've been here 3 weeks with the other guy we went to high school with. And he didn't even know they went to high school together. So, shame. But all right, it was nice chatting with you, and I look forward to working with you, because I definitely want to sit and talk to you more about branding and marketing for myself as well, and a new project that I have coming up. So I would love to sit and chat, or at least exchange information to talk with you about that further.
Most definitely. I love working with businesses that look like us, and I look out for businesses that look like us.
Well, thank you, and thanks for talking to me.
No problem.
All right. Did I get everything?